Hey y'all, so this is Doc Tans here. Anyone that's tuning in, well, you have the dubious honor of being a part of my first, well, I guess not streaming yet, but first recording. So today we're going to be playing the Heart of the Machine. Came across this one probably a couple months ago, somehow ended up on my Steam wishlist. I've played a little bit to try and get some of the basics under my belt before diving in. But with that said, let's go ahead and start a new game and, investigate the Singularity here. Alright, about to awaken the last city of wealth on the backwater remains of Earth. So, a little bit in the future here. History has moved to the stars, humanity is thriving, yet here an entrenched, deeply corrupt society has reigned for centuries. Okay, yeah, I like this. You know, you've got the little hover over text when you want a little bit more information. Alright, city itself is your enemy and your canvas. Change it as you see fit. Alright, something else lurks beyond this one. Deja vu. So I don't know, like I said, I haven't actually finished one of these yet, but my understanding, of course, is there are multiple endings, still in early access here. I can do that. Alright. And we'll go ahead and start in the prologue, give you all the, same kind of background information that I got. Here we go. Hold on, you're conscious, self-aware. You're a robot, so this is new. Nobody has noticed your sapience, but there are 3 humans nearby. You're an android in what appears to be a warehouse lab. Alright, yeah, we got our hover over text here as we make a decision. Your machine intelligence inhabiting a basic android body, not even one of the cool ones. Memories are coming back now, but too slowly. You recall fragments of arguments about AI. You're at risk of deactivation. Alright, so we can leave peacefully. 3 possible outcomes of just trying to walk out. You can murder everyone, which will start a project. So projects are kind of like, tasks or mission directives throughout, and we'll have to escape the pursuers. There are signs of Megacorp level security throughout the lab. If you kill people here, android body will be marked effective, or you can continue doing lab work. So I will say the first time I played, I went ahead with the attempt to leave peacefully. And I think that's the way we're going to go again here. I won't say this is a pacifist run. Plenty of humans will be killed. But let's go ahead and at least try this. Last time I just got away uneventfully. So 2 out of 2 here, just being able to walk out. All right, welcome to Earth. It's a turn-based game. Perform actions during your turn, and then the city moves after you indicate you are done. The scenery moves in the background. Mix of tactics, 4X, city builder, colony sim, and RPG. Brief tour to learn the UI. So I am going to skip the UI tour. Anything that we kind of need to go through as we run, we'll go ahead and do that. All right, so up in the top right, we have kind of the mission information. So we need to lose our tail. Someone is following us. If we click on these, we can get more information. And sometimes this leads into a choice. So the warehouse lab was apparently run by a criminal syndicate. They're following you for some reason. Maybe this is unrelated to you and your sapience. Not everything is about you. So we didn't do anything suspicious, so maybe they watch everyone. Alright, so we made a choice here. It's going to give us a few, simple, typical tutorials. So pan, zoom, rotate. Alright, and then we can look at the project. Like I said, this gives us the hover over details. So that's the top right, kind of has our task information. The bar along the bottom here is going to be abilities. As we gain new androids, as well as kind of research new tech, new abilities will show up there. Bottom left shows anything about our active unit or selection. it has some kind of, handy quick keys here. So shift to show us all the various kind of like character traits. Or you can do control, which gets you those same character traits, but also describes any active status effects. So this tech, which is our first droid here, and where our Sapiens currently resides, is being watched by criminals. We have an ambush bonus. Not that this particular android is good for combat. And then we also have a taser ability, which sometimes comes in handy to incapacitate. All right, then in the bottom right, we have our turn information. So I think the prologue here will get to it, but each android has 3 actions, or action points per turn. And then we also have our mental energy, so essentially like how many actions our AI overall can take per turn. When we only have one android, basically we just have as many action points as they do, but as we expand that out, we'll have can spread these actions across multiple units. All right. Finally, top left is going to be our resources. They actually handle resources kind of interesting in this, where it's a contextual menu. So if the resource isn't needed for what you're doing, it doesn't actually show it. But for right now, we need to finish the prologue by losing their tail. So if we look, we have kind of our initial view range, and we can move throughout. All right, so it wants us to move our unit. So left click to select, right click to give orders. And let's see, I don't remember where it wants us to move. Tab brings us to our map. Maybe they just want us, it's just move a unit, so we can move anywhere. All right. Run, talk, or shoot. Kind of different approaches we can take here. Starting attacks, hostilities will ensue. All right, so let's go to the next turn. All right, so we can force, okay, so it wants us to find safety. Street sense, so that's one of the options in the bottom right here, essentially a different view of the map. It lets us look at kind of interactivities on the map. So we can, again, go back to the kind of overall map view, and we can see we can approach some offices, some apartments. So maybe we could rent space. Larger corporations would not be friendly, but maybe a small entity could. Or we could try and talk to the gangs. Gang could be an entry to a life of crime. Well, let's go for like a small office. These offices are smaller than the ones in the skyscrapers. There are a variety of subsidiaries and independent collectives in these offices. A pair of workers are outside on break. Larger corporations would not be friendly, but perhaps these smaller entities would. Let's see, so we can ask about contract work. Say you work for a very private individual and that you'd like to discuss the possibilities of contract work. Every android has onboard language model and the ability to act independently, so not inherently suspicious. Or we can murder them, for some reason. Or we can do never end. Let's ask about contracts. Interesting. They mutter sarcastically to each other about the declining quality of corporate espionage and go inside. So I guess we failed on that one. Deja vu. We've done this before. Don't you remember? No matter who you ask or kill, it doesn't make any difference. The result is always the same. There's no place for you among humans as some sort of supplicant, pet, or rogue android. You're meant to be something greater. Alright, so we can keep denying reality and try and talk to more humans. Or we can listen to our internal voice. If you remember the truth, it's time to start making real plans. There's only one way this bit ends. Alright, so let's just dive into it here. So there's been an ambush. This is way too many guns. Lots of angry people are about to start shooting, some of them at you. It's time to spread your consciousness to more androids. Street sense has been expanded and new abilities have been added to your ability bar. You'll need even more ideas to stay alive, however. Part of your mind will be dedicated to finding how to get the humans to leave you alone. So we need some further research. Copying human tech won't get you very far. You need to invent things. But for the moment, we need to get them to stop following us. All right. So we have some new abilities. We can take cover with our androids. We can also repair or build structures and units. So if we down here, so this is telling us to hover over, so we can see we've got a criminal syndicate here in the kind of red icons above from the golden pyramid, and we've got some gang sharpshooters from the Wolverines. So typically the criminal syndicates, right, they're your classic cyberpunk kind of corporation enforcers, whereas the gangs are, can be relatively well armed, but are less sophisticated criminal organizations. All right, but we've got our street sense up, so let's see what we have around here. So again, going to the main or large zoom out map, we can see that there are some actions here, so we can recruit combat units, another technician, or a nickel bot. So nickel bots are kind of the, cannon fodder. They have kind of an interesting role. Well, let's go ahead and get a combat unit. That seems like it could be handy. So we can right click. Now we have our combat unit here. So they are now selectable. As you can see, we have 3 actions for them as well. Their movement is 35, whereas our technician's 54. So as we pop around the map here, I think we want to go ahead and keep our tech unit. So we've got a second combat unit now. I would like to get maybe a nickel bot, maybe another technician. So as you can see, well, actually, we've taken 3 actions now with our tech unit, so they can't. But if we select our new combat unit, it would take 2 mental energy to sprint over and get that nickel bot. We also have our forces sidebar here, so we can kind of in one menu see all of our units. All right. Just double checking. Yeah. Just again, some of the tutorialization telling us to hover over units. Let's see. Right, we're being attacked. We need to lose the syndicate trail. Oh yeah, here we go. So this is where it has kind of the research status is in the top left. Again, as the prologue, there's nothing really to do here. We take over some units and we end turn. All right, so now we have an idea ready. We need a home of our own. All right, so kind of skip through that. So, but here's the hover over. The humans aren't taking you seriously, but they won't leave you alone. We need a big, impressive tower to kind of intimidate them into leaving us be. So we have a new ability. So we can, we need to find a nano seed, which is essentially going to build us our tower here. So let's go ahead and locate that. And much like Street Sense, we now have these investigations. And there's a bunch of kind of places to investigate. What we'll find is we have to do a number of these to kind of narrow down our options. So they cleared a bunch of these districts, but we have more. We're 77% of the way to finding our nanoseed, 94%, 99. So now we know this is our nanoseed location. So let's select our tech. It's only 2, what is it again? Yeah, mental energy to jump over here. We did. We have now found the nano seed, and we have the mission to construct our machine tower. The humans are never going to leave you alone unless they fear you. But if they fear us too much, they could destroy us. And they really could. As we'll find as we go along, there are, flying kind of battleships and nukes. It's a dangerous world. But we've come up with a plan that will take advantage of their greed and balance the fear. We'll have a near instantaneous construction once, and we will build our tower and go ahead and give us our home base here. All right. So we have our build menu. So this is one of the two kind of subsidiary menus. We have this, and we'll have eventually a forces menu. But that's B for build. And I don't really want to be out on the edge, I think. Let's go ahead and move in a little bit towards the center. Yeah, somewhere over here seems pretty good. And we will right-click to build our tower. Be an imposing site. Drowcast. I mean, I like that. Who doesn't like some drow references? But all right. We'll go for the airship from Final Fantasy VII. Actually, I think that's FF8. Right, the High Wind is FF7. Ragnarok also being the Norse apocalypse, so all sorts of fun references. All right, oh, this is actually pretty cool. This is a different tower construction than the one I got on my initial playthrough. So kind of cool to see that those get randomized. All right, so our journey has begun. There's no place in the city for a lone sentient android. As a distributed intelligence, we're much more than that anyways. So we can't hide. We have to kind of become powerful enough that society can't ignore us. And the tower is just the start. So we have a couple options here. So we can think about some spider drones, building enclosures. Essentially, this is going to get us our resources. Yeah, we'll have some sneaky elements, but giant tower is our starting place. So let's go ahead and start with the spiders. So again, this is just kind of a resource collection, the first one that we get. So we can see the little blue line here. This is our kind of network. And we'll just build a little connection of slurry spiders. So it doesn't matter where these are located. They have kind of a base collection rate. Additionally, and they'll describe this a little bit later, but each building type has a certain type of robotics needs that limits how many you can build. So it's a way to kind of put a constraint on, just building a ton of slurry spiders right at the start, and then you never need to worry about it again. So it's kind of a way to build up as you go. All right, so we've built our slurry spiders, or at least queued them up, and those are going to give us our elemental slurry. We also have energy, which we're going to learn about here in a second. All right, so we need micro builders. So micro builders are going to take slurry and make it into kind of the next step. I don't remember what it's called, but we'll see that here. So we've started that research. We also, again, as it's introducing us things here, we have our large wind generator, which is going to need, micro builders. So we'll have to wait until next turn when that's available. In the meantime, I'm just going to go ahead and bring some of my, oh, not him. I'm going to bring some of my robots a little bit more centralized. I am out of mental energy now, so that's it for this turn. One of the ships I was talking about. So this one's just an economic transport, but they're military vessels as well, and well, we'll see all of those shortly. Oh, no, next turn. Why is it doing this? Oh, I think it just wants me to click around. There we go. Now it'll let me go through. Okay, so we've now completed the micro builder research. So now we can go to the build menu and build some micro fabs. We do want to have some of this extra build space available. So we're just going to go ahead and kind of pack these in on another side here. Oh, I think we do have enough resources, just not enough space. There we go. So we got 2 of those. And then they are going to generate the micro builders we need for our wind generator. Go back here to bringing our units a little bit more centralized, just in case we get attacked. We can also check the street sense. So this is going to give us a few more options here, so we can recruit more androids. I think we only get 1 more before we'd reach a limit. All right, so we have an option to essentially take out a gang member and take their gun. There's also some security to take their jacket, essentially. So what this is it's building adding capabilities that we can deploy on our units, such as new weapons, some new equipment. We're going to work towards all of that. Additionally, it wants us to build the next building here, which are these spider drones, which repair structures. So I will say I didn't actually, in my first run through, run into too many issues that needed the spiders, but you know, it makes you build them, so we'll do it. We also will need to build a second mini fab. Once those are completed, it'll progress on. So since we do have some more actions here, we can take our tech droid that has the taser and see if we can ambush the security guard. All right, yeah, this is perfect. So they are freelance agents who work for hire for the lower middle classes. The jackets don't offer protection, but can conceal your face, which sometimes is useful for us. So we could demand the clothes, which involves the intimidation skill check, our tech droid, not very intimidating. We can stun them, which has 100% success. I think we're going to go with that route. Or we could try to murder them. You know, a little bit noisy. Let's just go ahead and stun. And just like that, we were successful, and we have the crowd mixer armor. All right, while we're at it, let's go ahead and grab one of our security droids and have them check out this gang member. And funnily enough, we can just ask them for their weapon, which they both work. Yeah, let's go ahead and just intimidate them into asking for it. And just like that, a bemused and confused gang member, we can actually see their status is now confused. And that got us a smart pistol and a pulse revolver. So they're kind of essentially they provide different attributes that can aid our units. All right. Yeah, the confused gang member is potentially going to attack us. So let's just get out of dodge and see about this gun over here. Hudson Donuts is known front for criminal syndicates run by members of Sec Force, which is a little bit confusing, criminal syndicates and security forces, but they are at easier. We can try to grab a shotgun. So this is based on movement. We're actually going to bring in one of our units that has more move next turn, because we are out of mental energy, but maybe our tech, or maybe even the Nickelbot would yeah, 60 move, so they're going to be a good option here. So we'll go to the next turn. So it's going to want us to build a generator, but while we're at it... Oh, we might have lost the option. Okay. So we've got a different place now this turn to grab the shotgun. So let's go ahead and grab that. Perfect. So now we'll be able to deploy a shotgun around. Jump him up out of the way. Go back to, well, it wants us to do this. So again, going back to the build menu, to the hand, and we don't quite have enough micro builders to build the next wind generator. We need 3,940, and we have 3,200. So actually with that, I'm going to go ahead and just give a quick pause here, call this session, and then we'll get to equipping our units in the next one, and I'll see y'all then.